Is winter feeling just too long? I live in the Southwest desert of the United States, so to me, this doesn't even feel like winter. It's going to be up to the high 70s today where I live. This is February 1st when I'm recording this. I think it's crazy. I have family and friends who live places where they have real winter, where it's cold, and they're complaining sometimes, the past few times I've talked to them, because it's been pretty cold, very cold in many places. And while I don't love that kind of cold weather where it's frigid and there's snow and ice and makes it hard to get around and it's kind of dangerous, power can go out. I miss having real winters, but I digress. This video is I'm going to give you some examples of places where it's warm right now in February. And these temperatures are typical of most of the winter in warm weather cities and states where I'm talking about. And I just randomly picked these. So, if you're feeling, like you have a really bad case of cabin fever and you need a warm escape, maybe some of these are worth checking out. And again, they are random. They are not all-inclusive at all. It's just kind of from my research that I thought of places and I checked, and yes, indeed, they were warm, just like where I am right now. So here we go. We will go in alphabetical order because that's only fair. Alabama. Alabama is a southern state. We have a interview here on Living There from Daryl, who lives in South Alabama. So if you want to check that out after watching this video, that'd be a good idea. So in Alabama, I picked Mobile and Montgomery. And in Mobile, the average temperatures right now are in the 60s. Just, a varying degree. Montgomery, 50s and 60s. Not too much difference. And no freezing. Overnight, it does not get down in the 30s where it's freezing. So, Alabama is an option. Next on our list, again in alphabetical order, is Arizona. I chose Tucson and Phoenix as the two places to give you some examples. In Tucson right now, it's in the 60s, and this is for February, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Phoenix, it's in the 70s and 80s. And in those places, it might get down close to freezing or at freezing, but for the most part, it's not going to be a hard freeze. The next state in alphabetical order is California. Of course, it's probably known for its lovely weather. That's what I think of it, for the most part. I chose Los Angeles and San Diego, just randomly chose these. Los Angeles in February will be in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Just, a range, but not cold. San Diego in the 60s and 70s. I think San Diego is more temperate. It's not as extreme. It doesn't get as hot there from what I understand. And again, no freezing. The next state is Florida. And I imagine Florida was on your list when I was talking about warm weather places. It is very popular with snowbirds, as is Arizona. And the two cities I chose were Lakeland and Pensacola. Just randomly, I was just surfing through the internet and found those. Lakeland in February will have one day in the 50s and the rest in the 60s and 70s. Pensacola will be in the 60s, one day in the 50s. So, pretty decent weather. Our next state is New Mexico. I chose Carlsbad and Albuquerque. Carlsbad in February will be in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And Albuquerque in the mid-50s and 60s. So good options if you don't want to be in the very frigid cold. And the last state I chose was Texas. And the cities I chose at random were Corpus Christi and Houston. And for February, they both will have temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Not big extremes, but very pleasant. Some of these states, like Texas, Alabama, Florida, may or may not have more humidity, but they tend toward the humid side. And states like Arizona, New Mexico, California are more arid and dry. So if you are looking for a dry heat, come to one of those places. If you like the moisture in the air better, go to Florida, Alabama, or Texas. So I hope this, warmed you up a little, if nothing else. And I'm interested to hear where you are and what your weather's like in February. I think it's really interesting, the difference in climate. The United States is so big, so we have a lot of different climates. Up north, it's really cold right now. Lots of snow, lots of ice. And as you might have noticed, the states that I mentioned are all in the southern part of the U.S. Makes sense. So if you just need a quick winter escape, maybe a week away or something, consider one of these places. Do your own research and see where might be a good place to go to if you can afford it and you want to. A lot of people, like I mentioned, snowbirds, live in a warm weather place during the winter, so they don't have to deal with the cold and the snow. What about you? Do you like the snow and the cold? I prefer it to the heat, and I'm in a hot state, so there you go. I'd really be curious. Let me know what you prefer. And if you'd like to share an interview about where you live, I'd love that. Check out my email address in the description below. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.